All right, starting with our top story, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has departed for Washington to meet with US President Donald Trump. The discussions will cover a range of pressing issues, including tariffs, the situation in Gaza, and the Iranian nuclear threat. Netanyahu's office confirmed that the leaders will address the 17% tariffs recently imposed on Israel imports by Trump and efforts to secure the return of Israeli hostages from Gaza. Israel-Turkey relations and the international pressure Israel faces over alleged war crimes related to the Israeli leader. In Gaza, Palestinians are mourning the loss of family members killed in an airstrike on a house in the Al-Zitoun area of Gaza City. Meanwhile, rescuers from the Palestinian Civil Defense and the Red Crescent continue their search for victims of an airstrike in the Al-Amal neighborhood of Khan Yunis, southern Gaza. On March the 23rd, Israel's army admitted to making mistakes in the killing of 15 emergency workers in southern Gaza. And the convoy, which included ambulances, a UN vehicle and a fire truck, was fired upon by Israeli soldiers near Rafah. Initial reports suggested that the convoy was not coordinated with the army and was approaching suspiciously, but footage showed the vehicles had their lights on while responding to a call for help. The Israeli Defense Forces have asserted that 6 of those killed were linked to Hamas, though no evidence has been presented. Despite the IDF's claims, the UN and others have condemned the attack, with officials confirming that 15 medics were killed by Israeli fire. While the situation in Gaza continues to deteriorate in the last few days, well, after the failed ceasefire negotiations, there seems to be an uptick in attacks from Israel towards Gaza, and Benjamin Netanyahu will be in the United States to discuss this and a lot more with his counterpart Donald Trump. Ambassador Daniel Carman, former ambassador of Israel to India, is joining us on the program as well. Ambassador Carman, appreciate you joining us, sir. Well, what do you think is going to be most important on the agenda when Mr. Netanyahu will meet Donald Trump? There is obviously the eclipsing news of tariffs, which has more or less jolted and shaken up the world.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the mere fact that President Trump is receiving Prime Minister Netanyahu on a very short notice is on his own initiative, by the way. It's the initiative of the US President, just shows once again the close relationship of any administration with the State of Israel. This is something that we rely on, and the number of topics, joint topics the two governments have is really endless. There is no doubt they will be talking about the regional situation. You mentioned the tariffs. It's something that there is a long line of countries that would like to debate this on their own respective issue with the President of the United States after his announcements, and definitely the war, the seven-front war that we are engaged in the last year and a half, which is really a terrible situation. You mentioned ceasefire. I would like to mention the mirror side of the ceasefire, which is the hostages. We still have 59 hostages. Hopefully 24 are still alive, but they're going through hell. Practically they're going through hell. So yes, the hostage situation should be, if you ask me, should be the number one priority in any conversation of any Israeli leader, of any Israeli diplomat around the world.
And Ambassador Carman, also important to talk about Iran at this point in time. There have been growing concerns that surreptitiously Iran has been working on proliferating its nuclear capabilities. Is that also something which you think will be high on the agenda during this visit?
I cannot really tell you the agenda because I don't have it, actually. But Iran must be, we've been hearing in the last few weeks exchanges of letters, exchanges of points of view, and I think I heard a bit of a threat from the Iranian leadership towards the United States. So let me tell you, Iran is there anywhere, everywhere. When we talk about the Seven Front War, Iran is engaged directly or indirectly, covertly in this war, and we should pay attention, the world should pay attention, the free world should pay attention to Iran and its intentions. And we've seen some of it in the last year and a half.
Right. So it's also important to understand that the negotiations have failed. The hostages are still being held by Hamas at this point in time. There are growing concerns within that particular region that a few more countries neighboring Gaza at this point in time are looking to surprise Israel. Is that something that you often felt was eventually going to happen and Israel was always prepared for?
Well, Israel has been living that way for 100 years, maybe more, even before the independence of the State of Israel. Yes, we are under threat from our neighbors. There are many threats, and I mentioned Iran as a player which is almost everywhere. But we have managed during all those years to defend. Israel is defending itself. Its capabilities are very well known. Unfortunately, we have gone through the 7th of October, which has been a shocking surprise on any front, something that is investigated internally, will be investigated internally, and I really hope we'll draw the right conclusions, because it's the 7th of October is the biggest disaster this country has gone through since the Holocaust, where the Jewish people was in danger of annihilation.
Ambassador Cameron, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Well, moving on, a missile attack on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv.